What's up, everybody? It's Robert, Rule of Two Review, and today, more E3 2014 hype as I discuss a couple of my predictions. Okay, I'm back, my voice is back, E3 2014 is still just right around the corner, and it's time to further some of that hype just a little bit more, because that's what we all love to do. This is part 3, of course. I've recently made 2 videos that I'm going to link below. Part 1, I discussed the top 5 games that I'm most looking forward to hearing about at the show. Last time in part 2, I discussed the 5 games that I'm hoping to have announced at the show that have been based on either rumors and speculations and kind of subtle hints from their respective companies, or just kind of my own personal wishes and hopes and dreams from a gamer and a fanboy of different, respective properties and whatnot. So today, what I'm talking about, of course, as I alluded to in my intro, is I'm going to lay out kind of a couple of exciting predictions for the show. I'm going to do basically one for each of the 3 press conferences. I think that's kind of the best way I could whittle it down and try not to make another half-hour video, because apparently when I talk about E3, that's what I tend to do. So I'm going to discuss all 3, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, kind of lay out some, one big prediction I think I have for their overall show and some of the cool things we can all hope to see this year. All right, so first and foremost, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, as all of you already know. So I'm going to go ahead and start with them just to kind of get it out of the way. So my big prediction, there's actually, of course, quite a few I have for everybody. So I'm, of course, like I said, I have to whittle this down to just one per company, one per conference that I want to discuss. So for Nintendo, we know that they're going to do a digital event. It's not quite a live press conference, and it's not quite a Nintendo Direct. It's something a little bit different and more unique. We don't know a whole lot about it. But we do know that on Tuesday, June 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, they are going to hold their digital event, which I believe is an hour-long presentation online. And it's supposed to also continue throughout the week. We're going to get that main presentation, though, of course, like I said, on Tuesday, June 10th. And I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. They've confirmed the new Zelda is going to be there. I think we're going to see some new IPs. They're going to talk about their NFC, the Near Field Communication Project, all sorts of cool things. However, I think the one thing that I want to boldly go out on the limb and kind of guess that we're going to see from Nintendo, maybe something that not everybody would see coming, is I think we are going to see one pretty high-profile third-party exclusive. Now, the idea of a third-party exclusive for Nintendo for the Wii U is something that's kind of you can sort of go in a couple of different directions for that. And whether or not it's going to be something that's brand new for the system, or brand new for Nintendo, or brand new just as an IP as a whole, or if it's going to be maybe another iteration of another well-known series, like, I don't know, like a Resident Evil game that's just for the Wii U, or a Call of Duty game that's just for the Wii U, stuff like that, which has happened in the past. Actually, Resident Evil is a pretty good example, because we do know that the Wii had 2 on-rails arcade shooters in the Resident Evil franchise, the Umbrella Chronicles and the Darkside Chronicles, which were pretty darn good games. They actually had the Dead Space offshoot, which was Dead Space Extraction, that did eventually release for the Move on the PlayStation a year or 2 later, but that happened so much farther down the road that I feel like it still counted at the time as an exclusive for the Wii. And so when thinking about Nintendo at E3 this year, I just feel like it's kind of the time with a lot of the kind of propaganda and hyperbole, a lot of it, justifiably so, that's been happening around, surrounding Nintendo, the Wii U specifically, and even the last couple of years, where it's been a larger conversation to talk about the fact that Nintendo systems don't always get the greatest third-party support, at least on the consoles. We do know that the portable stuff always has. The Game Boy Advance, the DS, the 3DS, all that stuff is done fantastically in the third-party area. Consoles, the last couple of generations, not so much. Now, the thing is, there's always been, steadily for all of those consoles, there still has been, a lot of really great exclusive third-party games that come out periodically for the system. So, you may not get a lot of multi-plats for all the systems sometimes, which is really too bad. But I feel like if we trade that off with the occasional really excellent third-party exclusive as opposed to multi-platform, that's probably what I would even prefer at the end of the day anyway, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having your Nintendo consoles for all the first-party exclusive and the occasional really great third-party exclusive. And then you get the other systems for all the, I hate to say the kind of cardboard cutout sort of stuff, where you get all the games that comes out for frickin' everything and that's it. Less first-party exclusives, more third-party multi-plats. That's what the other stuff is good for. And I sort of like the fact that Nintendo's is more about the exclusive content, whether it's first or third party. So anyway, still going back to the idea of them struggling with third-party content, because overall that has been a problem. because we've seen so much, consistent third-party stuff that shows up on occasion, whether it's Resident Evil 4 or Beautiful Joe, I don't know, stuff like Zack and Wiki or Silent Hill, Shattered Memories. And then even with the Wii U, we've had things like Zombie U, 2 Sonic games, one that's upcoming, Wonderful 101, stuff like that. Bayonetta and X, even Xenoblade in and of itself for the Wii. Like there's a lot of consistent exclusive third-party games that you get. They're just spaced out more when it comes to the Nintendo properties, or Nintendo hardware, I should say. And with everything going on with the Wii U right now, they need to come out strong with the Wii U and everything that Nintendo is doing with E3 this year. It just seems like the time is right for them to be able to finally do that. I do think that behind the scenes, even though we don't get all of the constant gaming news in our news daily, I feel like Nintendo has probably been working with other folks beyond just the few that we know about to bring another third-party exclusive to the table. We know that, like I just said, Monolith X, Bayonetta 2, and oh my god, I just brain farted. Oh, Sonic Boom. Sorry. So those 3 games, Sonic Boom from Sega. We've got those 3 games that are pretty high profile, some of them very much so. They're all third-party companies, and they're all exclusive to the Wii U, to Nintendo's home console. So the fact that we have those games coming, and we know they've had a pedigree of doing this stuff periodically throughout the past, I just feel like it's going to happen. We're going to get yet another exclusive third-party game. Now, beyond the few suggestions I mentioned earlier on, I have no ideas what to expect or predict, so I can't quite go that far. I just feel like if Nintendo is going to have one other big surprise at this year's show, and they really want to come out swinging with the Wii U and with all of their products, and they really want to show, hey, we do have stuff to get excited for, we do have games, and more importantly, games and experiences you can only play on our platforms, they're going to do it. They're going to show, hey, we've got something else, check it out. So if I had to say anything, that's going to be my big prediction for Nintendo E3. Let's see if that turns out to be true. Okay, moving on from Nintendo, let's go ahead and talk about Sony. Sony is another company I love. The PlayStation brand has become one of my favorites in the industry. Even though I'm a bigger Nintendo fan overall, the PlayStation 3 was definitely my favorite system last gen. Overall, my most preferred system when, that generation was finally ending and I had a chance to kind of look back on itself and evaluate the entire 7 or 8 years. PlayStation 3, awesome. Loved it. Super excited to own a PlayStation 4 eventually. I haven't been very thrilled with or excited about the system since launch. It really hasn't done anything exciting. I know it's overall a fairly competent machine, obviously, but there's just nothing exciting happening on the games front, and I don't know when we're going to finally start seeing that stuff soon. So I've been holding off to still own a PlayStation 4. But most importantly, don't forget, I love Sony and I like the PlayStation. So when I think about what they're doing, it's very unique to kind of, at least for myself personally, analyzing Sony right now. They're in the unique position where they are winning, quote unquote winning. They're ahead of all the competition by a landslide right now. Both the Wii U and the Xbox One are really not quite near the numbers that the PlayStation 4 is doing. They certainly have a lot that they need to kind of show as far on the games fronts for the PlayStation 4 moving forward with E3 this year. But at the same time, because they're the company, the home console manufacturer that is, really kind of is in the lead, you can say, the trend that I've seen with these companies, throughout E3s in the past is that the companies with the most to lose are the ones that also take the least risk. So I feel like Sony is not going to be very ballsy or overly confident this year. Not to mention, I don't think that they're going to be able to really compete with what they did last year. Last year was a combination of A, they had new hardware, and B, they had someone to directly compete against. And they were also, very cleverly positioned behind Microsoft's press conference. So they, it's kind of been all but well-documented knowledge that they adjusted a lot of their information at the E3 press conference just a couple of hours later to really stick it to Microsoft, make it seem as if they were really out there for the gamer, and they were able to say, look, we're not doing what the other guy is doing that you don't like. So they had a couple of things going for them last year that they don't really have going for them this year. PlayStation 4, again, selling better than any console in history. So hell yeah, congratulations, Sony. Good for you. I'm really glad for it. But at the same time, it's finally starting to sink into a lot of people that there aren't a lot of games. There's been almost nothing to play since launch. And right now, we know of very little coming out soon. So they really do have a lot to show for us this year. And I don't think they're going to be able to eclipse their conference from last year. But if they just show us good games, they don't really have to do that. So what's my prediction for Sony this year? I kind of have 1.5 predictions, and that's just going to be what I want to do. It's the only one that I'm going to make this way, and it is just what it is. So most importantly, what I'm hoping to see from them, and I think they're going to do, is they're going to show one or maybe two brand new IPs. If there's one thing I think Sony is doing behind the scenes, even if it's taking them forever to get this stuff out to us, I think they are really working to bring a shit ton of games to us for the PlayStation 4. There's nothing to play right now. There's nothing to play in the near future. But given their success and everything going on at the PlayStation 4, I feel like other companies are going to start to play catch up. I don't think anyone saw the system selling as well as it was. So they're going to start bringing a crap ton of games eventually. It may not be till next year's E3, but trust me, they're going to be on the way. So I do think that what they're probably working on doing, whether it's first party or third party, I don't know, and I don't really want to try to predict. But I think that at least one brand new IP is going to be shown for the PlayStation 4 this year at E3 in just under 2 weeks' time. But I also think it's possible we see even two. So I'm going to let my prediction only go as high as a number 2. Now, if they show 3 or more, then I'm going to consider my prediction completely wrong. And it turns out they have even more great new games to bring to us, which is awesome. I kind of hope to be wrong. But I'm trying to place a bet here basically with myself and with you guys on the internet and on YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and say either 1 or 2 brand new IPs, which is ultimately really exciting. Now, here's one kind of negative thing that I'm going to say. I don't really think that we're going to see any of Project Morpheus. I think we're going to see little to no Project Morpheus. If it's there, I mean, it's maybe going to be just talked about, or maybe someone comes out and shows one sort of techie demo kind of thing, and we can see the guy wearing the helmet, moving his head around, and we'll see what he's seeing on a big screen behind him or whatever, and that'll be kind of cool. And they'll say, look, here's an idea. I think it might even be more of an application, maybe something like an education tool, or something where they're going to create, you know, give gamers maybe some sort of creative tool to use down the road for the PlayStation 4, or even for PC software down the road. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a brand new Project Morpheus game. This is the game that we're making that is only going to be utilizing the Project Morpheus, and this is how you're going to have to play it. And look at all this brand new information and footage of it. I don't think we'll see that. I think we'll see very little about it, if not nothing. Now, it'll probably be at the show, and I'm sure they're going to have it on the actual show floor for E3, but I think it's going to have, again, little to no presence, period, for Sony, both at E3 as a whole and most importantly at the press conference. So I know a lot of people may be excited for it out there. I kind of don't really know how I feel about VR yet. I'm kind of meh on the whole thing. But if you're excited for it, awesome. I mean, it's cool in and of itself. But my prediction is I don't think we're going to really see much, if any, of it at all at E3 this year. So those are my predictions. More than Project Morpheus, it's the IPs. Are we going to see 1 or 2 brand new IPs from Sony for the PlayStation 4, first or third party? Who knows? I certainly hope to see so. And my prediction is exactly that, 1 or 2 new IPs for Sony this year. Okay, and on to my third and final prediction for E3 this year. Of course, we're talking about Microsoft here. Microsoft has been in a very precarious, dangerous situation lately. Lots of shit going on over there. Change in personnel. We're going to have, we know that the Kinect is getting pulled away. There's a price drop fastest in console history. Tons of bad press for Microsoft ever since they launched the Xbox One, even before they launched. I think the system is sold modestly overall, but it's been being spun very negative lately because it has the 3rd most units sold. It's been, you know, not selling nearly as well as the PlayStation 4. So there's a lot of damage control Microsoft has to do. And it's for that very reason alone, even more so than Nintendo's damage control that they need to create. I think that Microsoft, we are 90% of the industry and gamers going to walk away from E3 this year saying Microsoft had the best press conference. Now, I don't 100% know what that could mean because I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just making my own nerdy gamer predictions. But there's only one thing that could mean. I think they're going to show the best games and the most of them. I think that the overall volume and quality of games, combination of those two, is going to be the best for Microsoft. Even though I want Nintendo to do the best and I care about their stuff the most, I sort of want Microsoft to do this even more because I just know Nintendo has proven that they can be okay no matter what. It isn't possible to spell doom for Nintendo, and people will always continue to do it, but they're always going to be wrong. So I just feel like no matter how much trouble Nintendo gets himself in, they're going to be fine. They're the toughest in the biz. They're fine. Microsoft, I do think they're tough, and they have more money than the other two companies. So in that one respect, they probably are the safest. But removing that factor, when it comes time to look at the Xbox brand, how it sells, how it's received within the industry, and how us as gamers receive it and look at it and perceive it, I think that they are the ones in the most precarious scenario right now. And I could see the Xbox possibly seeing the most damage done to its reputation and its sales and success overall. And I think that Microsoft does know it. What I've seen in those guys this last year, man, since before the Xbox One launched and everything since leading up to right here and now, I've seen guys that are really, I think, are genuinely trying to do things that they believe in. A lot of those things have been stupid. Let's not beat around the bush. Everything from the DRM stuff and the internet stuff and the Connect and the price and all this stuff, it's been unfortunate. Pretty much, I'm right there with a lot of you guys out there. I do think that they were stupid, but I kind of see this genuine love of what they're trying to do. And yes, they're business people trying to make money and trying to find ways to suck more money out of us. Yes, but you know what? They're all trying to do that. And that's fine. That's commerce in America. I don't really have a problem with that because I do think that there's been a real genuine attempt at a creative vision that Microsoft has been trying to accomplish. You know, whether they've been fucking up or not. I've said that about Nintendo forever. Even when they make mistakes, I think they have a creative vision and I believe in that for those guys. So it's only fair that I say the same thing about Microsoft and what they've been trying to do. You know, I think that the fact that they are removing the Kinect and dropping the price is huge. I have a whole video that I made about that just recently. I'll link that below for you so you can check it out. I definitely highly recommend you do. I made some good points there. I think that it's going to be huge for them. I think they're showing that they're trying to do the right things. They basically have had to admit mistake after mistake since they've launched the system, you know, and even beforehand, of course, because they reversed the DRM stuff before they launched the Xbox One. So, you know, they're showing that they're not afraid to say, okay, maybe we fucked up. You guys don't want this. We're just going to make it what you want. You know, they're just going to do that. And I appreciate that. I feel like they know they got their asses handed to them by Sony last year. They know that they're third in the marketplace. They know that people have been looking down on them. Their sales hasn't been as good as the competition. And they have the money to secure quality games and quality content. And I honestly think that there's a lot of that stuff coming already. So I feel like they're just going to push it out. I think that they are going to... And I hope, because I don't even remember the last time we've been able to say Microsoft had a great press conference, let alone the best. I just don't even know when that was. And so I want them to really just come out swinging and have a great show. And I think they're going to, more than what I want. Again, this is a prediction. I genuinely think that they will do that. We will say Microsoft, for maybe even the first time ever, had the best press conference of an E3, E3 2014. They're going to show a ton of games, hopefully a lot of exclusive content, show us Halo 5, you know, the Master Chief Collection, that'd be cool and all, but show us Halo 5. Show us the new Gears of War that we know is being worked on. Show us a couple of new IPs, which I also think they might even show us. I just think that this is the year Microsoft is going to say, no more fucking around. Here's a bunch of cool shit. Now buy our product and stop talking shit. And that's what I hope is going to happen, and that's what I think is going to happen. So, you know, mark my words, that's what I say. Whether or not that or any of these predictions come true, who knows, you know? But that's pretty much what I have to say. I think Microsoft, best press conference of E3 2014. Okay, well, there you have it. Just a couple of predictions. I didn't go too wacky crazy. One for each of the main console press conferences. We'll see what everything else, what else is held for us at E3 this year. We'll see if my predictions are correct for any or all of the three. That's probably not very likely, but whatever. You know, it's fun to do this stuff anyway. And if I'm right at all, then I'll be really thrilled. So, you know, share your opinions and your thoughts on what you think about my predictions, and of course, share your own below. I do have a Facebook page for Rule of Two Review, so I want to go ahead and repump that for a minute. You can follow the link below to that. I've been starting to get people more active in the community. The more subscribers I get to Rule of Two Review on YouTube, I start doing contests and stuff, and those are all run through the Facebook page. So please follow the links below, like and follow the Facebook page. You can subscribe to Rule of Two Review if you have not yet done so. You can like and share this video if you have liked it. Share your comments and your thoughts and your own predictions below, like I said. And that is pretty much it for today. So thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time.